change from the side that played before the bye?
LDU will come in for sure, and then we'll finalise things this afternoon. There's a couple sort of, do we go one way or the other, but he'll definitely come in.
Midfield seems to have grown a bit over the last few weeks. Is it tricky to decide who comes out of that engine room to bring LDU back in?
It is a little bit. I think, some of the players have been playing well, and the balance of the team, and, if you've got an overload of mids, where do they play? That's been sort of the conversation, but, some of the growth that we've had from our midfielders has been enormous, so we want to keep that going. And I think the bye was good for us as a group. It was, a couple of the younger players were getting a little bit tired, so freshen up and get ready again.
The Crows over there, obviously a massive challenge at the moment. How do you go about preparing to face them?
I think we, like we do each week, we look at their strengths, but I think there's been a big focus on what we need to do as a group, and some of the findings that we've had is, how we've moved the ball at times, how we've defended. So it's been really good for us to have a look at that and really sort of sharpen up what we need to do in the back end of the year.
The curse of the bye this year, have you read into that, addressed that with the players at all?
I rang Craig McRae, he wasn't too concerned, and I rang Johnny Longmire, and he wasn't too concerned about the bye. So, yeah, those two blokes were pretty positive about it. So, yeah, I didn't ring any of the others, though. Yeah.
We've seen the bye spread over 4 weeks. You've been at footy a long time, Brad. As a footy watcher, do you get annoyed that we're spreading out so far, or have you sort of treated that?
I don't really care, to be honest. I think the bye's there for everybody. How they position it is a little bit different for other clubs. If you're earlier, later, it doesn't matter. I think the bye's there. I think the bye is good, I think, to rejuvenate not just players but staff as well. I think it can get a long season, and depending on your travel and things like that, a bye is nice to just have a weekend, to yourself and with your family, and do some things that you might not normally do. So I think it's a positive thing, but what does it look like? That's up to the AFL. I'd hate to do the draw. It's a pretty challenging task. So to get it to work, they do a mighty effort with that.
Have you got an update on Clarko and when you expect to see him back here at the footy club?
No, I haven't. I did catch up with him the other day for the first time, and he was up and about, and smile on the face, and really positive. So from that point of view, we'll just let Todd and Jen and the club work through that. I know what my role is, but whatever happens with Elle and the transitioning in, is it slower? Is it medium? Is it quick? I'm not sure. They'll work through all that, and what I do know is he's going to coach the North Melbourne Footy Club. But how does it look and when? That'll just take a little bit of time, I think, and just work through some things. Yeah.
Does he seem like he's in the right headspace to return to senior coaching?
We were just talking footy, which is good. We're just chatting about us and some trends of the game. So that's up to him, and that's what they're working through, is about what does it look like. And it's not for me to comment and say this is the way it goes. He's the coach of the football club, and for the club to work through when does he come back and in what capacity and when and all that. That's what we're working through at the moment.
Has he been happy with the progress of the group?
He's some individuals, but we didn't go into. We spoke for about an hour and a half, and it was a good chat about everything going on. Give him some information. We just had some general chat. So, the progress of the kids, I think, puts smiles on Clarko's face, but it puts smiles on a lot of our fans and a lot of people in the building about Wardlaw and blokes stepping up, and that's part of our future, which is great.
Has he pretty much just left it to you since he's been away, or has there been a few text messages here and there, or is he just?
No, he's been pretty much away, and it's sort of been something that we've done to sort of allow him to just not think footy and let him think about footy when it's right for him. So he's sort of let us do a couple of little different things, but we haven't changed enormously. There's just a couple of little tweaks here and there. So we're on the same path, and we'll keep communicating that and making sure that we're really just adhering to his game plan, some of the principles of the game, how the program's running. So we haven't really changed a hell of a lot, so it'll continue as normal.
Does he want Sheasel as a mid or a back or a forward? Did he pass on his thoughts on that?
We sort of had him mid, forward and back, but we just can't find three of him at the moment. No, he didn't go into details. No.
How's this process been from your perspective in stepping up into this role, which I'm sure you weren't exactly expecting?
I spoke about it last time. There was some personal things of being senior coach again, and maybe saying goodbye to it, knowing that it's going to come to an end. Last time I sort of thought I had a couple of years, but I didn't quite get that far. So this for me allows me to maybe say goodbye to it, full stop, and we'll see what happens. But I've enjoyed the players, and people look at where we're at and what's going on. It's an interesting question. How do you measure success? And sometimes you don't get the 4 points each week, but you get a lot of growth internally. And I can see with our program, and then you look at the leadership program, and there has been some development. And I think if we measured that, you would say, geez, we are heading in the right direction. And that's, sometimes with footy it takes a little bit of time to transfer over, and I think you'll see that happen, whether it's in the next 9 weeks or takes a bit longer. But I can see some real growth in this group, and some things that we've been working on has been a real plus. So I'd say when you look at our measurement of success, right here, right now, we've got 2 wins, but I think there's been some good steps in the right direction.
Just on Clarko's return, are you expecting a window where he comes back to the footy club but not actually coaching hands-on game day, where you're still at the helm and he's sort of working around that periphery?
I think they're all the questions that we're sort of just working through. What sort of stepping stone is it for him to be the senior coach? Is there 1 step, 2 steps, 4 steps, or no steps? Like, they're the questions that we're sort of trying to work out for him and what's best for him. So we're just going through that.
Judging by your answer just before, you haven't got the itch to become a senior coach again back through this process?
Has someone asked, have they?
As in?
No, I'm not sure. I would say I was being.
There might be a few jobs, who knows?
Oh, no. You never say never, but geez, I enjoy the senior coaching role. It's been part of me for a long time now. In my time, but you just never know what's around the corner. But I'm not saying anyone's knocking down my door either, so I'll just see what happens and just go with the flow. I think for me, just enjoy the journey. I think footy for me has been a lot of games and a lot of years involved in the game, and what does that look like? I'm not sure, and I'm happy to play a part and be a part of a team that's trying to strive and grow and be successful as a group. So what's that look like? And I'm not sure.
Just on Tristan Cherry, he made a pretty strong return in the VFL before the bye. Does he need another one, or is he in the mix now for senior?
Probably needs another 2, to be honest. 1 or 2. That's what we'll have to sort of work out. But he's played reduced minutes. We've had the bye, which the bye came at the worst time for him, and for him. And then now he's going to be back to sort of regular minutes. So we'll have to have a look and see how he goes and pulls up and GPS-wise. But I dare say it'd be probably unlikely. But like anything, he could, have a great game, and then we select him.
Rat's coming off the bye. The boys haven't had a win in a while. What's the feeling like within the group?
Pretty good. We sort of had a review, not a review, but sort of where can we grow meeting, and just sort of put some things out there, and what are we doing well and what do we need to look at. So we had a chat sort of post the Bulldogs around that before they left to review that game, but then have a look at a sort of a big sample size of the stats and where we are on the ladder on certain things, and what do we need to do to become the team we want. I think there's a fair bit of frustration out there around, for us, we've been competitive, we've been in games and we've been close, but we can't get that win. And that's the frustration, I think, from the players. We've got to a level where we're competitive, but we need to take that next step. And that's what they're striving for, and that's what we want to get in the back end of the year. We want to get a few victories along the way, because the group are working hard behind the scenes, and we just haven't got that win.
Coop Harvey close to selection?
He's getting closer, and he is getting closer. He won't play this week, but he is getting closer, yeah.